Well, we can now speak to our correspondent, Paul G., who joins us from N'Djamena. Paul, thanks for following this quite closely, and I know it's something many people are keeping a keen eye on. What are some of those irregularities that are being mentioned by election observers?
Yeah, Wahiga, some opposition observers are saying that the electoral body did not bring in the exact number of ballot papers required to vote. So that was one of the issues they raised, and also the fact that they refused people who registered in other cities to vote in N'Djamena. Well, the electoral officials said they were following the law, the electoral code. But then there are also other, there's an opposition candidate who is alleging that in his voting center, there was not enough voting materials to go around for everybody to vote. So the voices are raising across the board, and people are saying that it is indeed a tense atmosphere in certain parts, of the country. But in N'Djamena, it's been relatively calm. It's been relatively peaceful, apart from, reports in the south of the country, in Mundu as well, where we heard reports that one person was killed in a voting center. That's just a roundup of some of the issues that have been happening here, and then also a look at the irregularities so far.
Indeed, I can imagine quite a focus on the electoral body. Have they responded to some of these accusations being made against them? Are they communicating periodically and efficiently to the public?
Well, Wahiga, the electoral officials, especially in the one where they were accused of producing limited number of ballot boxes, the official there told us that it was just a matter of insufficiency and that he had called for the voting materials to be brought. So those are the excuses that they are giving. But then people do not want to understand it in that light. They are doing what they can, the electoral officials, to make the electoral process go smoothly, they say. But then at the end of the opposition, they are very circumspect in the way they want the votes to be done. At the end of the day, it will boil down to how the votes are perceived, how the people see the process. And we spoke to one person who said that his country needs free and fair elections. And even though he's voting, he's not confident in the electoral system. So all of these are contributing to the distrust that there is in the electoral body, as it's known here in Chad.
How hopeful are Chadians, those you've spoken to, regarding this election, that it will return the country back to constitutional order?
Look, Wahiga, people are quite hopeful, but I would say that it's a mix of both feelings. While there are those who hope, there are also those who languish in despair. Hope because some people say that they have been through a lot, through tough times, unemployment, lack of education, illiteracy, poverty. Chad already stands as one of the poorest countries in the world, where 42% of the population lives below the poverty line. That's indeed a very high figure. And so people say that they are hopeful that the next president will tackle this. But then there are others who say that the system, they don't see the system changing anytime soon, and they remain apprehensive of the way things are. So when we spoke to voters today, we really got a feel for what the Chadian people here, the impressions they have. Some don't see any change. Some feel that this election is just a formality.
Right. I mean, back to the electoral process, when does the vote counting begin? And do you anticipate any sort of extended voting in any areas? Have you had news of that?
The electoral body has not directly commented on that. So officially, votes are expected to end here by 5 p.m. local time, which was a couple of minutes ago. But then we are expecting the preliminary results by the 21st of May. That's when the national electoral body here is expected to announce the preliminary results. And they've been very insistent on the fact that no other person should declare results before them. They have warned people and of course candidates against announcing election results before time.
Ponji, thank you so much for that update. We'll keep waiting to hear more news from you as you follow the situation there in N'Djamena.